Hey team, Tommy G, Middle-Aged Millennial, coming to you from a near rooftop. I could have got higher actually and probably got up there, but we had some people around and I didn't want to sort of like disrupt them. So went for the 6th level of where I am at the Artwork Apartments. Very funky, Airbnb. And yeah, we are in Seattle. Sleepless in Seattle? Well, almost. It's been actually a couple of large nights. Second one was actually unplanned, and we've got, being Tune Up Tuesday, Doc Peter Rouse in the house. So let's bring him on, and we've got an interesting ad. We've got an interesting talking to you about today. In fact, can you see Mount Rainier? Oh yeah. Pete, good morning, good evening? I've lost track.
Good afternoon, just.
Good afternoon. Just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just after 12 midday.
Just after 12 midday in the lovely city of Queenstown. And we are, 5 p.m. here.
Not so lovely today.
Oh, Pete, what's going on?
It's called winter.
Jeez, it's called winter. Yeah, I'll have to come and check that out. Hey, can you see Mount Rainier just to the right of me? The little white pimple?
Yeah.
Next to the building? Yeah.
Yep.
So Mount Rainier in the back there. I remember flying past on an approach once or whatever and seeing cloud base, and then all of a sudden there's big pimple of a mountain at the same height. I'm thinking, holy crap. So, yeah, she ain't small.
Lucky you didn't fly into it, huh?
Lucky you didn't fly into it, mate. I'm glad the guy at the front's seen that and keeping it to the left. So, yeah, we're in the... I'm here at the, in fact, hang on, let me flip around. We've got the ever so famous needle. There it is, the Space Needle.
Oh, yeah, there it is, yep.
Yeah, right there. So we are, definitely, it's not a conspiracy thing going on here. We are in Seattle.
Nice blue screen you got there behind you.
Nice blue screen? Where's that?
Well, green screen, but they use blue screens.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of back sets.
Yeah, there's a guy actually looking like he's on the moon right here too, wearing a lunar.
Well, that's another
outfit.
Conspiracy, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? There are many. Where is the truth? Who knows? So, mate, talking about truth, there's something I want to get down to the bottom of.
Which we've talked about many times.
We have personally. So I thought, okay, let's get it on the table and have everybody witnessing this, if not now, certainly as we push this out to the community. But booze. Now, you don't drink, Pete. I think you never have. I do. Is this correct?
You do indeed. You do indeed.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I've witnessed it firsthand.
You have. I've been at your place, and that was unusual for me because I was unusually at your place. It was every day. Sure. Well, you wouldn't know, but I will admit, so for a number of years, up until I had my health wake-up call, it was like minimum 5 days a week drinking.
How'd that work out for you?
How'd that work out for me? Well, I don't know. There's many things that lead to the little wake-up call that I had, but that could have been one of them, yeah? And I can see you sort of like getting ready to fight that battle. So what I was doing Monday and Tuesdays, I was doing nothing around, I wasn't drinking any booze because my doctor of years ago said, what do they call them? Alcohol-free days, AFDs. So I was doing those, and then I'd slowly pick up Wednesday, Thursday, get a bit busier on Friday, go largish on the Saturday, possibly even the Sunday, and then clean up again Monday, Tuesday. Regime has changed since then over the last couple of years, and it's been more so just on weekends, Friday, Saturday, but then there'll be times that I'm traveling, which is less these days. The last 2 nights have not been small, I will admit, because I've had these unusual 2 birthdays in a row here. The second one I didn't even expect last night of a friend. And so I had a few drinks. I mainly drink red. It's resveratrol, Pete. Now
how many bottles did you have?
Well, we did actually have 2 bottles last night. That's
Well, you
highly
actually
unusual.
need about 1,000 bottles to get the resveratrol dosage that's required in the studies. There you go.
How's my liver going to handle that, Pete?
It wouldn't.
Let alone everything else. It wouldn't. It'd explode.
It would.
It'd get very fatty and big.
Drinking that much fluid itself, I mean, 1,000. What's a bottle of wine? 1.5 liters, isn't it?
Liter, it's 750 ml actually.
Oh, 750. Okay, 750.
Yeah.
Ml. Okay, so you're only looking at 750 liters. 700. Yeah. No, hang on, 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 750. Yeah.
Is that right? It's like 1,000 bottles of wine to get
750 liters.
Amount. 750 liters. That's a big night, Pete. I don't think I'm capable of that. God, I don't think your party's capable of that. All right, so then we've got this thing of like the industry pushing this resveratrol. That's the most intelligent thing I've heard actually in your house for a while, coming out of the background there.
Yes, someone's eating.
Someone's eating. They are. They're hungry.
That's not me for a change.
Right. Okay. So that's a lot of. I mean, I thought there was resveratrol in red wine. So aren't I doing the right thing? I mean, they're doing the blue zones. Utner keeps talking about it. A couple of glasses of red, and Greenfield as well. He has 2 glasses of booze a day.
Yep. Been hoodwinked. They've been hoodwinked. It comes back to, if you look at the Keys study, we've talked about this before, the cholesterol study and heart disease.
Yes.
Yeah, the 7-country study where there was actually, like 23 countries in that study, and they actually eliminated the ones that didn't meet their paradigm, their basic agenda, really, if you really want to break it down. So with the study, if they found countries like, for example, France, who had a very high fat intake, which didn't match their model, of course, found that, okay, we need to find some reason that they aren't getting heart disease. So they looked at it and they put it onto wine, particularly red wine, because they needed a scapegoat, because their paradox, or I'd actually say their agenda, it didn't fit their agenda, so they had to find something else to say, well, it was this is the difference, this is something else that's doing this, so this one doesn't count because of this. So they were trying to explain away outliners on their study, which was actually, most of them were outliners on their study. 7 out of 23, there's not a good balance there. Yeah, so they only used 7 studies that actually matched what their, I'd say, what their agenda again, because there was a hidden agenda behind the whole Keys study, with pushing the whole cholesterol myth, which is totally a myth. So they needed something else to kind of blame it on. And of course, alcohol was the easy one with the countries that were, amongst the highest fat consumers was places like France. And if you have a look at the fats they were eating, though, they weren't the type of fats that the Western diet were eating too. So there's a big difference in the types of fats and stuff like that. But they didn't want to talk about that. So this is probably where a lot of that came from. And of course, the alcohol industry is massive. So of course they grabbed that and ran with it and pushed it. And then more recently came up with resveratrol, which was one they really pushed on. Once they found out that wine contains this great anti-agent molecule called resveratrol, we're going to run with that. They kind of failed to kind of tell you the dose-related impact.
By the
there.
way, there's this many alcohol molecules attached to it. It's like, was it you got to take like 10,000 milligrams of alcohol to the small amount of resveratrol.
I think so. Yeah,
it's like 1,000.
I think it's 10,000. No, for resveratrol, I think it's about 1,000 to 1. 10,000 to 1. I mean, 10,000 to 1.
Right, 1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's
I think it was
such a huge.
Dr. David Sinclair, and they quoted him on. In fact, there's a video that you sent me in the last couple of days, and they quoted Professor Sinclair, the guy that's doing the big NMN stuff right now with like the NAD precursor. And he said, you'd have to have like 10,000 milligrams of alcohol to get 1,000 resveratrol. It just doesn't scale properly, and you'll blow your liver apart before you get any real benefit out of the resveratrol.
Exactly. And then there's, alcohol, I should say wine, red wine contains polyphenols as well, which do have
Right.
benefit. But what you got to look at there is, okay, you do get the dosage of polyphenols from about 2 glasses of wine, but
Right.
remember that's the studies done in isolation of the polyphenols, not combined with alcohol or ethyl alcohol. So when you combine it, it neglects the positive effects of the penophenols.
Right. By a mile.
Polyphenols, I mean. Yeah. So
Right.
you're counteracting the benefits of these nutrients coming in from the wine when you actually can get it from natural sources anyway.
Right. Well, okay.
Or if you want to really get concentrated, with resveratrol, you need to get it in concentrated form from supplemental form.
Right. So you can buy it online, can't you? Resveratrol. It's a bit like dust or something, but you need to mix it with something, right?
Yeah, I mean, mixing usually with the fats and stuff like that is best to take it with some kind of fat soluble,
For most liposomal-like absorption.
Well, I use a liposomal version myself, but just have you eat it with the fats. If you drink it, have it with a little bit of fat meal or something like that.
Right.
Or have a little bit of avocado with it or whatever.
Okay. So then, if you're getting your wine as well, I mean, the other negative thing is like glyphosate, right? Or insecticides, if it's not organic or a biodynamic wine.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big payout just today, I think, or yesterday on that too, paid out to some victims. But the glyphosate, I think, is becoming more aware of it. So the alcohol, particularly the wine industry, not the alcohol industry, but the wine industry is becoming more conscious of that and knowing it's a negative marketing for them. So they need to get rid of it out of their products. So they are limiting. One factor is they are starting to limit that now. So it will take 10 to 20 years to clear out, but you'll see a reduction in glyphosate in a lot of these wine products.
Interesting. And we've got Anne on and Lindsay Curry, and Anne Shivers has joined as well. So
I saw Charlie come on earlier too. I don't know if Charlie's still around, but hi Charlie. Say hi if you're still on there.
Obviously a wine drinker. Didn't want to hear the bad news.
Charlie?
So,
yeah, I think so.
No, maybe not. You think so? Right,
Maybe.
So, look, the other thing, okay, so, if you can be drinking wine, the other negative effects are like glyphosate, for example, insecticides. You can get organic wines. I'm seeing more of them these days. But then you've also got the preservatives, right? The sulfite, whatever it is that they stick in it as well.
What's they say? I missed that one.
The preservative as well, right?
They do. Yeah, they do a lot of preservatives and stuff like that, often not labelled. You got to also worry about the containers they use to to store them in as well, the barrels and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a storage issue, but I mean, coming back to health factors with alcohol, I mean, if you actually look at the statistics, it's probably the third leading cause of death in the United States.
Whoa. Okay. So what happens, Pete? We're talking about the alcohol part of this primarily, or the insecticide piece as well, and the preservative.
No, just the alcohol.
Mainly the alcohol.
We're just focusing on alcohol. Okay. So let's do that. So alcohol will increase cancer rate. We know that. Okay. Alcohol will increase coronary heart disease. Alcohol also related to, I think it's about half to a third of suicides association. Right. About half of murders are associated with alcohol.
Okay.
Let's not even talk about deaths on the road, right?
Right. Okay.
So there's when I say the third leading cause of death, you got to remember that it includes these other deaths outside of the medical scope of things as well.
Right. So we're like the industry. I think it's number 3 if you count it up. Prescribed, actually taken as prescribed.
Prescription drugs, but I'm talking that's in the medical concern. I'm talking about death and total deaths, not just medical related deaths. So I'm talking, you're looking at car accidents and stuff like that.
Everything that's correlated, everything's related.
Yeah. And then also you look at long term, many deaths that can be associated with alcohol, but aren't actually listed as being caused of death of alcohol. Like I was saying, like cancer and coronary heart disease will be labelled as coronary heart disease as the cause of death, not alcohol. And same thing with cancers.
Very good
So
point.
there's a lot of stuff that's, long-term consumption of alcohol has contributed towards, but then they get contributed towards cancers or coronary heart disease and other factors. Or even when you're taking prescription medicine as prescribed, what happens if you take it with alcohol?
Right.
You're
There's
still taking it as prescribed,
Yep. Right.
but then you could get adverse
But
effects
it's
from it, which
connected with
cause the
alcohol,
death.
and therefore, right. So there's so many things then that alcohol is killing us with that. He doesn't get called out as the bad guy unless it's like sclerosis of the liver. Then people go, "Oh, did he drink too much?" But
Yeah, well, I mean,
the
liver
others aren't
makes sense.
obvious. Right.
I mean, the fatty liver and that stuff. You got non-alcoholic and alcoholic, fatty liver with two different conditions. One caused by sugar, the other is caused by alcohol, which is both just as bad as each other. Remember, 80% of the alcohol is metabolized by the liver, so there's a lot of stress on the liver when you're drinking. You're thinking a glass of wine isn't going to do much harm, but that's on top of everything else you've had during the day and everything else is going on in your life.
Right.
So
just that extra bit of rocket fuel stress it doesn't need.
And remember, when it goes through the liver too, it produces those reactive oxygen species, which is, of course, quite harmful for health. And we're talking about anti-aging and stuff like that. And then also you're going to be elevating your VLDL, which is the high risk factor.
Oh, so is that the small particle LDL, or which one is that?
Well, when we talk about particle size, this is something we talked about before privately, but I think so VLDL is different to when we're referring to particle size LDL. So when we talk about particle size LDL, so VLDL is very low density lipoprotein. Okay, so but when we're talking about particle size of the LDL, we're talking about they come in a multiple of particle size, the small fractional size up to a larger, puffier type. I mean, to explain it more simple, not to get off topic too much. So the small particle one is the one more readily oxidated and damage causing. So those are the ones we're measuring, and you've got to get a special test for that. Most often you'll get a cardiovascular test then done. They will measure your VLDL and your triglycerides, which, of course, remember, this will increase your triglycerides, and that will increase fat storage, but also elevated triglycerides are the ones that you should be looking at we've talked about before with coronary heart disease, along with low HDL, not necessarily high LDL. Yeah, low. If you have low HDL, LDL is not so much of a problem. Well, no, LDL is not a problem. It's small, what we call small particle LDL. That's So if you measure your LDL, you can have high LDL, but if you have high HDL and low triglycerides, then your risk factors have gone down lower than someone with actually has low LDL.
Right. So
that's actually thrown in studies. I think it was actually in that one of those videos I sent you the other day.
Yes. That was, I mean, the alcohol video was amazing, and the cholesterol.
That was about sugar, but it mentioned, it was actually, that was about sugar,
well.
but which metabolizes very similarly with, within the cell.
Right. And from what I understand, or what I've heard too, by some people that have gone deep on metabolism, I don't know, it would have been maybe a Greenfield podcast or something. This guy was interviewed, and he said that alcohol is like almost a fourth macro, and that it's actually the one that gets precedent over the other three, like fat, carb, and what am I missing? Fat, carb, and protein.
Protein. The one you always forget about.
Yeah. Well, hey, I've been eating a lot of fish lately this week. I'm in Seattle. Remember, fish. Go on.
You're looking at protein, fats, and what's the other one? Carbs.
You're such a shit. Go on.
Okay, so you you saw that one, huh? That was quick, wasn't it? Okay, so what's the difference between them and alcohol? The biggest difference there going to be alcohol doesn't require digestive process.
Oh.
The others have to be digested. The alcohol is straight in there.
So it's so easy for the alcohol. That's why it comes first. It's like straight away.
Also, if you do have it with a meal, it slows down the absorption rate, but that's not slowing down because the alcohol is not being absorbed. It's slowing down because the food is slowing down the whole whole process getting away. But
Right. Okay.
alcohol, it doesn't require digestion. It's straight in there.
So then you're getting this VLDL thing that's happening, and let's say I'm guessing that the VLDL is like, is that where you could have the small particle stuff coming from alcohol? Because like I've got low triglycerides, I've got high like top end HDL, but there's the small particle LDL, lipoprotein A, I'm fine for, but the other small particles.
But
my HSCRP is way low.
Did you do a complete particle scan? No, I don't think you did, though.
Yeah, there was small particles as well.
Oh, they did a. Oh, okay, small particle was high. Okay.
Yeah, but my inflammation's like 0.25 for an HSCRP and 0.25 low triglyceride, high HDL.
Yeah, so you still have a risk factor with a small particle LDL, and that could be from sugar, alcohol. Right. Are usually the two biggest culprits, especially when they're in combination. Actually, what I have seen in some studies, and this is only a few studies that kind of loosely associated, I wouldn't say confirmed because they need further study on this, was processed seed oils was another one.
Oh, with meat. Not cool with meat, right?
No, just processed seed oils. Yeah, any kind.
Processed seed oils. So we're talking canola, we're talking sunflower.
Yep.
Other vegetable oils.
Palm. Palm's bad up there, though, but palm when it's processed is bad.
Right.
Remember, they usually hardly process it. Yeah, but I wouldn't use palm oil. Go for coconut oil because there's other reasons for that.
Olive oil?
Yeah. Olive oil, as long as you're not heated. Not heated at all. Zero heat.
At all? Okay.
No. But you got to remember, olive oil, there's a huge fraudulent market out there with fake olive oil being pushed out there.
Beautiful. That even makes it harder. So it's like organic means different things in different countries. Okay.
And they've actually found an organic brand with blended oils in it.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. God. So once we work out the science, then we got to make sure that what we're getting is what we're getting.
Yep.
Off the label. My God.
So going back on to the, like we were talking about before with your particle size and alcohol being a factor there, what I'm assuming with some of these studies was they weren't taking in factor of alcohol consumption with the people with the seed oils, processed seed oils. So if you're taking alcohol with processed seed oils, that probably is going to have a greater negative effect, than total sum. So you're going to end up causing more damage because of that. That's where I think maybe where those studies need to be further looked at and see what else was in there, adding to the damage being caused by the seed oil. I'm sure the seed oils are causing some damage, but was it magnified by the alcohol consumption or sugar consumption even within the diet?
Okay, all right. So it really seems like, sugar again as well, a bit off topic, but they're similar sort of substances, right? And I think the worst version of it is like fructose reduced on its own. Right, but in a pear or piece of fruit that's attached to fibre, it keeps their low GI spike. It's okay, but when you take it out and add it to things like companies do, that's not cool.
Such as high fructose corn syrup.
Oh God. Right? And God, that's everywhere. Just look on the back of the pack. But HFCS is everywhere. Obviously, they've been subsidised by the government as well, I believe.
The corn industry is majorly subsidised. I mean, that's hugely subsidised. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
the corn industry couldn't survive in the US if they removed all subsidies.
Government support. Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh boy.
Imagine what they could do with all that land.
Oh, well, grow something healthy on it. Oh my God.
Hemp. Put hemp on there.
Hemp. Right. And we're talking CBD. We're not talking the THC version. Although I did see that yesterday, since it is legal here. I had some dark chocolate with THC and cannabinoid yesterday.
Nice. But hemp can be made used for concrete, can be used for food products, can be made for clothing, papers,
denim.
Yeah, your clothing line, different fabrics and stuff can be made with hemp, and then your food lines, and then you got your supplemental line. So. And then you've got extracted lines like your CBD, you got the CBD extraction. So it's huge. So why is it? Well, it's actually not banned in the US anymore thanks to the President Trump who removed the federal ban on grown hemp.
Okay. There we go.
So that was only
whatever
last year.
motivation, whatever
Only
motivation
last
it
year.
is.
Well,
Right.
it's
Only last
huge.
year.
If you can start growing, that's a huge market. That's a huge
Right.
profitable market. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Business wise.
People may not like
great to see.
people may not like Trump, but that's a good move. That's a
By the
smart
way,
move.
huge
It's
move
been banned for
world
like what
medicine.
100 years.
Oh, yeah. And what forces have kept it at bay? I wonder. So, I mean, huge business opportunity, which coincides with the fact that it's a huge health opportunity and positive impact on the world from so many angles. But I reckon we should do CBD on a separate session. Actually, it'd be really interesting to do that. It could be next week.
I've got a good person
Gone.
for you on that one, maybe.
Oh, cool.
Let me
Awesome.
reach out to them. This one
Oh, yeah.
specializes in CBD research. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, that'd be great to line up.
And then we've got another one we're going to do on stem cells
Oh, yes. Awesome. All right. That's
with
the
one of
next
the
two.
top doctors in the world.
Woo! All right. Cool. We'll get
Okay.
that one on too. We'll do that one for sure.
We'll see if we can get a three-way going.
All right. On Facebook, we'll have to do a.
Yeah.
That'd be a webinar. Can you do 3 ways on Facebook? I thought you only do 2.
I don't know. You're the expert in three ways.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. Let's not take it back to my heritage. So with getting back to alcohol, Pete. Get back on script. So
Working on a script, are we?
yeah, well, we're writing it as we go, and you're taking it to some interesting places. We both do. So, look, I'm looking at it this way. I mean, I think bringing people's awareness to alcohol and the fact that it is a bit of a Darth Vader as well, because you can't see it when it connects to things like CHD, right, cardiovascular health. When it's doing cancer as well, right? The 2 biggest killers on the planet can be very much alcohol related. And then, of course, there's the obvious alcohol, liver, sclerosis of the liver, perhaps fatty liver. Now, so it could be responsible for a lot more. It could be ranking. You said 3. I mean, geez, it could be 2 or 1. In the end,
It could be up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
I have nothing. If you want to drink alcohol, drink ahead, but take personal responsibility for your health.
Right. Be
if you
aware
get
of what you're doing.
Yeah. Take personal responsibility. Don't expect a bailout if you get something caused by the alcohol. But then again, how do we know it was caused by alcohol? Then you have a look at your genetic makeup. I mean, going down the gene line, someone who has certain gene markers should not even think about looking at alcohol. But we won't go down there because that's like a whole rabbit hole.
Right. Well, I will go as far as saying, from what I learned when I did a DNA fit test, was that I had the gene that slowly metabolizes alcohol. And that I don't necessarily need cruciferous vegetables to counteract the negative effect, nor caffeine. That said, I did learn that cruciferous vegetables and caffeine for the liver, because I think caffeine stops like 7 or reduces the effect of 7 cancers, one being sclerosis of the liver or liver cancer, that if you drink then a lot of caffeine, it can counteract the effect.
Caffeine is part of one of the detoxification pathways of the liver. So phase 1 detoxification, you can, what's going on down there?
I don't know. Someone's
Don't fall off there, buddy. Don't fall off.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm just leaning a little.
Yeah, so it increases phase 1 detoxification for liver detox. So, it actually enhances detoxification, so it can reduce that. Also, if you take it up the other end, it can actually stimulate glutathione production.
Right, so if you're doing caffeine enemas, whatever. Caffeine enemas?
Enemas, yeah.
That is the real Italian suppository, that one, in your endo. But, all right. So if you're drinking caffeine, hopefully a nice, robusta, medium, non-mold, organic bean, ideally, to get lots of chlorogenic acid going, that'll counteract that negative effect of the booze. What else will work against it? So if genetically, I happen to be lucky. A lot of people are not. Cruciferous vegetables are here.
Alcohol, that caffeine would help probably 1%.
Okay.
Maybe, no, I'd say 0.01%.
Right, so it's not a huge amount. Okay.
No, you can't counteract. The effects on the liver, it's phenomenal because of the dose related. 80% of alcohol is processed in the liver.
Right.
80%. So that's
a lot of work.
It's a lot. Yeah, it is. There's kind of no countering it basically. Sorry.
Okay. Right. Is there any certain amount? Genetically, look at Churchill. he smoked and drank whiskey until he was 90-something. Genetically, they say he was just able to be able to really slowly metabolize it so that there are other enzymes.
But look at the quality. First of look at the quality of his life later in life. He had poor quality of life. Number one.
Right.
Number two, who said he couldn't live another 20 years if he hadn't?
Yeah, well, point. Right. Absolutely.
But also, more important to me is quality of life in those years lived. So
health span rather than lifespan.
Yeah, they should go hand in hand.
Okay.
So there's that factor there. I mean, how much reliant was he on medical establishment? Pretty largely reliant on the medical establishment as well, just to keep him alive.
To keep him alive, right? Okay. And he would have access to a lot of things that other people wouldn't have. The average Joe Blow. So
at that time, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say, I mean, I've heard cruciferous vegetables. I've heard caffeine, and these are helping a small amount. What are the cruciferous vegetables? Are they like 1% too, like caffeine, or is it
I mean, there's no data on it percentage, but I'd say it's going to be a very small percentage on that.
What's the best? What about water? Lots of sparkling water or water to in between each glass.
The best.
Yeah. Don't drink.
Don't drink.
Right. Okay. Next best. Drink a little bit.
Next best.
One glass. That's it.
I mean, it's dose related, so it's like cyanide.
Right. Okay. It accumulates. What if you stop for and you stop for a month, 6 months, and whatever? Does that counteract all the negative effects?
It definitely helps. I think more so than they show with smoking. I think the longer, depending on how long you've drunk for, of course, you may have done some permanent damage to your liver. If you've gone to that point, but I mean, you would already be in the health state already. So if you're not your health is not compromised from your alcohol, then I'd say any kind of potential damage there can be reversed. Yes. Right.
Okay. All right. But it seems to be, if we go Dan Buettner's angle on the blue zones, like Ikaria, where the longest serving living men are in the world, they were having like a couple of glasses a day, or Sardinia, right, the Italian island. It was like a couple of reds a day.
A couple of places, but
and more organic.
Some places didn't have alcohol. Look at Okinawan Islands. Like islands in Japan. They didn't drink alcohol. No, they didn't have sake in the island. No, they weren't drinking sake. Trust me, I've been to those islands. I've actually gone around and done some research on those islands when I was living there. So, no, the oldest living weren't drinking like big drinkers at all. Far from it.
Right. Okay, so then it becomes a life choice, right? I think hopefully people have got the message here that any amount of alcohol isn't going to do you good stuff.
That's the takeaway. But it's up to you just to be aware of that. And if you're having one drink a week, I don't think it's going to be harmful to a degree that's going to cause you to get cancer, coronary heart disease. Is it going to make you live longer? No.
Right.
Okay. They try to this is something they try to sell you on. No, it won't.
Yeah. Right. Which I
100%.
Sort of sold on to a degree that it was actually good for me for cardio. Actually.
Well, the cardiovascular health mostly comes from the but that's the polyphenols. But you can actually get supplemental form, which will, you can get good polyphenol supplemental form, very high concentration for pennies on the dollar compared to what you spend on wine anyway. Right. And then, as I mentioned before, I was going to say before.
Fabian. Fabian, sorry, mate. Churchill had over 10 strokes. So there we go.
Yeah, how did that work out for him? Thanks.
Yeah, not well in the end. Right?
Fabian's in he's here in Queenstown too. So the alcohol that contains in the in the wine that you're having with the polyphenols, that's going to counteract that. So why don't you get a supplemental form of polyphenol and get the heart benefit from that?
Right.
Because remember, all the studies on these compounds were done in isolation, not done with alcohol.
Right. Yeah, well, they are, right? All right, so then resveratrol, you can buy on its own, supplemental form, probably from Amazon.com, or just do a Google search and then add it to your yogurt or something, or your smoothie.
I'm sure they can contact you and get it, right? Yeah, well, yogurts, I'm not a big fan of dairy yogurts, but we know we like our coconut yogurt, don't we?
I love that coconut yogurt. What about the saturated fats? Just off topic a little bit, Pete. Saturated fats from a plant like coconut.
Good for you.
Good for you. Man, everybody's so confused over this, right? Because they think saturated fat's bad. Now it's all changed.
That comes back. That came back from the key study. That came back from the key study.
The cholesterol thing again.
Yes. Cholesterol, yeah, it's unrelated.
Trans fats are really bad though, right?
Most trans fats. Now, we're talking about trans fat usually caused by processing the fats and stuff like that. But
Right.
remember, conjugated acid is a form of trans fat which is naturally occurring, which is actually beneficial for health. But when we talk about trans fat, generally we're talking about, like your trans fat you found in processed and heated oils and stuff like that. So those are generally bad, yeah. Generally bad, no, they are bad, yeah.
They are bad, yeah. I think the US has actually given 3 years for them to be taken off the shelves.
I believe that's right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. So that's a big message there.
Well, I think they had to be below a certain amount within the product or something like that, which was, I mean, in most cases, a pretty minute amount.
Right. Okay. Hey, Jamie, Fabian, thanks for your comment there, buddy. Just to make the point. So yeah, God knows how long Churchill could have lived then if he didn't, drink and smoke.
Exactly.
All right.
And quality of health. I mean, 10 strokes.
Right.
He must have been pretty messed up after that.
Okay. Is there anything you can take supplemental-wise that will also accelerate reducing the negative effect or damage that's been done by alcohol?
I mean,
polyphenols.
No? Yeah, yes and no. I mean, looking at liver function, I mean, the main one you're probably concerned with is liver function. There's other stuff, of course, you're looking at coronary heart disease and cancers and stuff, so you can separate that. But if we're looking about liver function, then there are kind of blends that you can use, herbal blends and stuff like that, you can use to actually improve recovery of the liver function, improve liver enzyme counts and stuff like that. Remember, the liver is regenerative. So a lot of damage, if you haven't done too much damage to the liver, you can actually regenerate and you can really improve it. So there are a lot of herbal liver formulas out there that, I mean, I know Metagenics, Pure Encapsulation, Thorn, probably, those top of my head that do a liver product that actually helps with repairing the liver function.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So if you look them up, if you just look at liver on their websites, then you'll find the different product names. I don't know what the names are.
All right. So Metagenics, Thorn, and Pure
Encapsulation. Yeah.
Quicksilver. Do they do one?
They do a detox product, not so much.
Right.
It's kind of ties in there, but yeah, Quicksilver. They do a related product.
Right.
It's more to do with detoxification, but if you improve detoxification, you're improving liver functions.
Right.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So yeah, it does a fair bit of damage. A lot of it we can't see, and now people can make the choice of what they want to do and how much. No, there's no upside to alcohol apart from having a little bit of a good time. If you can do that from time to time only,
well, you got THC for that.
Big, Well, that's
you got
true
some THC
too,
for
right? And that's a lot better, a lot healthier way to go.
As long as you don't smoke it.
So you just eat it.
Yeah.
Chocolate. Oh my God, I need that chocolate.
Another thing about alcohol that, before we go off here, something I actually didn't realize, but someone just told me the other day about this, was, and this is in New Zealand, and I've seen it now, I looked it up, and it's actually in the US, is when you add like the, carbonated drinks with the alcohol, they're doing those carbonated drink alcohol cans of, that accelerates the alcohol absorption rate. So
awesome.
it rushes in even faster, which causes more harm to the liver. And guess who that's targeted towards?
Kids.
The younger generation, yeah. So it's carbonated. If you get in carbonated alcohol drinks, they're even worse for you, by the way.
Even worse.
I didn't even know they existed. I mean, I didn't know anything much about the alcohol industry, but apparently they're on the front window of, of the stores nowadays.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right. Well, Pete, I think we've done. Hopefully, we've unbamboozled people with the booze story, and none of it's good. Drink lots of water.
Have I convinced you yet?
Look, I've got to tell you, in that video you sent me, which explains it in detail, the science behind what happens within the cell from a metabolism point of view, and the pathways. The
breakdown of the chemical structure. Yeah.
Yeah, and how VLDL forms. So therefore, we are building fat as well as a result of alcohol, are we not?
Yep, because that's stored within the fat cells. So yeah, it does.
Right. So for those that don't get it this way, and those that are a bit more weight conscious, even though booze directly doesn't, well, it kind of does do it directly in the
Yep.
cell to create
Yeah.
fat.
And
Nobody ever thought that. And cholesterol as well,
hormonal suppressive
VLDL.
as well. Hormonal suppressive.
And hormonal
Testosterone.
suppressive.
And
Wow.
the effects, when you were saying at the beginning, taking 2 days off, it can take
Right.
10 to 12 days for alcohol. The effects of alcohol to be, you have one glass of wine, not fully metabolized, that's fast. But the effects of it, the after effects can last up to 10 to 12 days, say, for example, the endocrine suppression and so forth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there it is, guys. The researched truth backed by PhD Rouse extraordinaire.
Happy to post up any research. If anybody wants facts and research, I can post it up there.
That would be awesome, mate, if it's convenient
Got tons
for
of
you.
data on it. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be crazy good, right? I want to share this one out to other communities as well.
I don't know how deep you want for the studies, but people can look up the studies and take it as they like. Yeah.
Yeah. The YouTube videos are always great, and a few of the not so
we
heavy
should
clinical studies.
Let me link that video up that I sent you, the sugar one.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. We'll link that one up, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a good
sure.
explanation. And it has some of the science linked in there as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. A paper or two in that one, that's it. Enough. I think people will then have a well-informed decision-making opportunity on their health and what they do. Look, for me, to answer your question, I'm going to reduce. I knew what was going to be happening while I was going to be over here traveling, on a couple of rare occasions. But back home these days, I actually drink very little in my normal routine, my normal habitat, and it's getting lesser and less and less. Even though I have a gin collection. I don't hide that. I've been buying a lot more than I ever drink these days.
You saw the collection at the other house, remember?
Oh, which one?
Oh, no, you didn't come over that other...
No.
Oh, yeah, you didn't come over the other house, did you?
No, you've been holding back on me, dude. What's going on with that? Next trip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Come over with Arky, you can show me.
That was someone, actually, it was just someone else the other day, because they were making comments about the collection there.
Oh, God. It's not yours.
No.
That's funny. Okay.
It was left behind.
Left behind. Yeah, it came fully furnished with a gin bar, or with a booze bar. All right. All right, Pete, thanks again, mate. Some great information on sort of decrappinating, the confusion on alcohol. There is no upside. People know what the damage potential is now and how the fact it's hidden in so many things like autoimmune manifests in different things like Alzheimer's and fibromyalgia and all these other depressive states and so on. There it is, guys. Thanks, Pete. We'll see you again on the next one. And what were the two topics we were going to look at? We picked out two.
Well, I'm going to see
cool
if I
ones.
can. Yeah, I'm going to see for one if I can get you something on the stem cell guy and also the CBD.
Yep. Oh, CBD. I think it's topical. Yeah. So let's do that for sure. Right.
But they might not. If you can't do a three-way, I'll see if I can get them on for you so you can talk with them directly because they are the experts in their fields.
Sweet. Okay. Look forward to that. Thanks again, mate, and trying to help have some positive impact on world health as we are, and mine. And
slowly.
Hey, remember slowly, step by step. Got to layer things in as I do with my guys. So I've changed them too, that are in the exec program that we're running. And there's heal.me and exec.reset, guys. If you go looking for that, exec.reset is invitation only. Heal.me is invitation, but we let anybody pretty well in the door there. So come on over. Both those communities are on middleagedmillennial.com and Facebook. And Pete, we will see you next week. And remember to enjoy life right here, right now. When, Pete? When?
Today.
Okay. All right. Catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks, Pete. Bye.
See ya.